Macmillan Audio presents The Instructor, written by T.R. Hendricks, read for you by J. Snyder. Chapter 1. Everything capable of combustion has an ignition point. The key to survival is knowing when and how to produce that flame, and then, once it's burning, to keep it fed. Even if a fire dwindles down to a few embers, it can always be revived. A single glowing coal can be stoked into a raging inferno. Derek drills this into his students as much as he does the other survival mantras, the rule of threes, the 4 priorities. He doesn't like parsing the first 3 priorities out. They're all critically important. Without shelter, you freeze. But the same can be said for fire. What good is water if you can't boil it? You'll either die of thirst by not finding it, or giardiasis if you do nothing to remove the parasites. 3 weeks is a hell of a long time in the survival world, and you can go without food for most of that stretch. Without the others, you're in deep shit in short order. His latest class stands in a loose semicircle around him as he crouches and demonstrates the proper construction of a tinder bundle. They're the typical weekend mix. 3 guys on a bachelor party, a couple of people on a corporate team-building outing, 2 seasoned hikers preparing for a multi-month trek across the Appalachian Trail, another small group of overzealous doomsday prepper types. So you have to be able to identify the different types of trees, and from them select a medium wood. As he lectures, Derek rubs a piece carved from a nearby cedar between 2 rocks, grading the material down. Hardwoods like oak will take too long to ignite. You'll burn through calories that can be better spent elsewhere. Softwoods like pine might seem like a good option, but they're not. True, the sap is flammable, but the wood itself is so resinous and full of moisture that it'll take you forever to get a flame to catch. He takes the piece of wood from between the rocks and holds it up. It resembles a cotton ball that has been stretched thin. So medium woods are the perfect balance. Cedar trees, weeping willows, those are the ones you go for. Then you work it over mechanically until you get it processed to this point. You want it nice and fluffy. Light enough to wipe your ass with, I reckon. This comes from Gil, a gangly hayseed with a mess of blonde hair. Since arriving at the class, he hasn't shut up. The others give him a look. No shortage of eye rolls. Gil doesn't seem to notice. Derek plays it off. Yeah, well, whatever helps you remember. He adds the newly processed tinder to a larger bundle of dried leaves, grass, and shredded bark, formed like a bird's nest. He walks the class through the rest of the operation. With a single stroke from his ferro rod, a shower of sparks lands on the cedar tinder, and slowly, the bundle ignites. He places it under a teepee of kindling he had prearranged, and when the flames catch, adds larger pieces of fuel. With his fire going, the demonstration is complete. Derek breaks out the groups to begin practicing their own bundles. They all work in unison to exclude Gil, so Derek teams up with the redneck. He bites the inside of his mouth as he watches the man floundering the process Derek just painstakingly walked them through, much in the same way he had the night before when Gil was constructing his hasty lean-to shelter. The man was more concerned with chatting than he was getting the skills right. And then I told that fat bitch... Wait, Gil, I thought you were just talking about your wife. The man turns to look at Derek and furrows his eyebrows. I was. Guess I left that detail out, eh, D? Derek grinds his teeth. The degradation of the woman aside for a moment, he isn't sure when he started letting this country bumpkin call him D. Sheer necessity forces the modicum of customer service he had developed to tolerate the abbreviation. The disparaging remark, however, was putting Gil on thin ice, prepaid or not. Yeah, my old lady is a real pig. Fucking 260 that bitch is pulling down. Easy. The man cackles with a laugh as he turns back to his bundle. One of the women with the corporate group clicks her tongue, while another's mouth drops open. Several of the students look over at Derek. He raises his hand and gives a small nod. They turn back to their bundles with shakes of their heads. It comes upon him so quickly that for a moment, Derek has trouble wrestling it under control.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?